I took a week off for my birthday, and we're finally getting back into the swing of things. Today's Wednesday, and it's bright and early, so that means we're playing some Orphaned Honor. Without any further ado, why doesn't someone tell us what happened last time we played?
I cannot do this time, as I missed half the session.
Yes. Anyone else?
I would nominate Cider, Sam.
The darkest timeline.
Why doesn't Greg do it? Because I'm changing baby butt.
There isn't. I guess no pressure, Greg. It's all on you.
How dare you all?
Like, I'm already capped on inspiration. Wasted on me.
You know what, audience? You don't get a recap to this episode.
Get a recap. He's so terrified of actually doing it. He just
A little bit. I'm not...
the audience suffers. He suffers for no inspiration. Everyone suffers now. That's the choice being made here.
The gist of it was we found out where Ellery was. We finally learned what's the deal with Haba and Nero. Yeah. We're on the cusp of finding her.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're at the docks right now, Core.
Mm-hmm.
I got a pretty dope bowl of soup and may or may not have invented the drive-through.
Yep. From a second-story window. Yep, that was the thing.
Yeah. And we
So what is Habanero's deal?
Yeah. Just real short, because Core wasn't here, so this is all news to Core.
Oh, so at the young age of 7, they were flung into the skate by a wild magic explosion. Scath, sorry.
You got it right every time except then.
No. Yes. Where they proceeded, after a certain point, to split their themselves into two, and that's how there's 2 of them now. Doing the process kind of was a very uneven thing, though, so it's like 70-30% in terms of soul, who has soul. Haba carrying the majority of it.
Or is it?
And they were stuck there for 2 decades before they finally got out. So Nero just has no real idea on. That's why he has no idea about social stuff or anything like that. He's only really been in the world for like a year or 2 at most. So.
And how did we come about this information?
Carriage ride like always.
Where all the drama happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard something about a tavern of some sort that Ellery was going to try to perform at, I guess, but was turned away because of the questionable nature of the location.
Yeah.
Also,
the implication that those elves aren't elves.
Okay, so eventually, so that carriage ride led the party to the Fishers Ward on the outside of the city. This is one of the nicest parts of the slum, which is kind of a contradictory statement. But due to the fact that many boats come in and out through here, and there are sometimes people who don't want to have to go through the process of having their goods looked over by the various guards and security to get into the city, they offload here. So a lot of money comes in and out of this place. So it's actually pretty well built up. It does flood over at a certain period of the day, every day, thanks to the flow from the river. A tavern that is located here is it's very extravagant. It's actually incredibly large. It's larger than the average tavern you'll find inside of the city. Real estate restriction. It is run by 3 incredibly beautiful elven women, of which all bear a unique and relatively rare lineage of elves, being Lena, Sans, and Ulduz, or as my settings changed, Moonstar and Sun Elves. It was kind of casually dropped in a whispered conversation at a nearby magic shop run by a partially eccentric half-orc woman, that the elven women that run the tavern aren't actually elves at all, but are actually, maybe, possibly, a coven of hags, which may or may not be related to the current predicament the party is involved in. Don't know yet. On a side note, said half-orc woman has also offered you a discount if you manage to successfully rescue Ellery on several of her wares, of which we kind of went through a handful of them last session, including a magical instrument, a cloak that shifts colors to its surroundings, and many other bits and baubles.
Full wand of fireballs if you want that for core.
Yeah, that was the thing. A wand of fireballs was awesome. People remembering the things that they want.
I mean, I guess when push comes to shove with that, I'll just have Core go over the things he can possibly get from that.
Oh, and of course,
But
we've got the most important NPC you guys met the entire last session, which is Gibbon, the grung bartender.
Yeah, he's a frog, and he hops around serving drinks. It's amazing.
So we didn't really talk to him at all.
No, you didn't. He was busy working.
He was working.
You spoke to Charles. The most, just ordinary bartender you could have ever spoken to. While there's a grung also serving.
He had a little tuxedo on and everything.
A very nice suit. No pants, though, weirdly.
he's down at Donald Duckett.
Mm-hmm. He was absolutely Donald Duck. For those of you that were present, is there anything important that we missed? I'll take that as a no. In which case, we can start the session. Greg, you can take 2 points of inspiration.
No, do not give me any inspiration for that. That was a bad. No.
You did your best.
Take one.
No.
Take one and
you.
like it.
I will take a pity one, and that is it.
Okay. But if you're gonna fight me, just take one.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, after stopping at Magdalene's, the half-orc woman, her magic shop, she gave you an idea as to where she thought Ellery was staying, given that she's delivered Ellery goods from time to time. It is in a location in the northern part of the Fisher's Ward, which you guys are all the way down here on the southern side of the map, and it's all the way up here in the north. I have politely drawn a big fat red X on top.
We're on the splash page.
Oh, I never. You know what? It would help if I did that. So to reiterate, you guys were all the way down here, and this place all the way over here. Which I suppose you actually can't see the red X. They drew it mostly inside the building. So it's great.
I rolled 20 to a minute to load in the map.
Yeah. It's a very big. It's a very big. So everyone take a breather.
There we go.
The load.
Well, We should get going then. The sooner that we find her, the better. Are you all stunned silent by her wares, or?
You know, I'm just having a moment. You know, kind of like you've lost your bearings and you're kind of waiting to adjust. Feel a little dizzy.
Would you like some soup? We can go back to that second story window.
No, I'd like a little
Yeah,
direction. He begins looking around, unsure of where to really go before, like, looking at Yelena.
I've been out of it, I guess. The Yelena's just gonna start walking to the north.
North we go. Does anyone have any weird complaints about doing that?
No, I think we should go south.
Straight in the water. We swim. This becomes a river adventure.
Buy a riverboat.
We will kill the River King.
Immediately leaves the party.
Water. All right. You begin heading north. Again, walking through the streets surrounded by these stilt-raised buildings. Heading to the location which Magdalene has suggested that our good Ellery moving along, you see that again, it's in the middle of the day. The Fisher's Ward is pretty active. During the day, just for Core's sake, almost all the buildings here are raised up on high wooden stilts, at least to the point of a second story. Underneath them, during the day, without any cause or reason to not be there, several people have like tables and chairs set up underneath most of the homes to escape the sun. And you can tell people usually down there, they're drinking or playing, they're gambling, or just kind of passing the time. There are a lot of like dock workers and sailors and things of that nature, just kind of waiting for their next job before they go somewhere. In the center of the Fisher's Ward is where the Jewel of the Sea, the tavern we mentioned before, resides, and it is currently very loud. There's just a constant buzzing noise coming from that direction as you guys head northward towards where Ellery's last known location for where she was staying. Now, since you guys are kind of hearing breaking up. When you arrive, you come up on this small section of building. There's a larger one to your left, with a wooden bridge that connects from the top of the roof over to a very small building in the center, with another bridge that leads off to the right. Based off of Magdalene's description, you think this the smaller of the three buildings here is the one that she has indicated that Ellery was staying. It has a couple of windows of which have wooden shutters that are currently closed. There's no discernible light or activity that you can hear or see from the outside. What would you like to do?
Is this door open or closed or?
Well, I suppose so I'll explain this again from last time. We have this weird oddity where, due to the fact that most of these things are up on second stories, I didn't actually mask out most of the windows for the sake of you being able to peer through them. But technically speaking, while everyone's down below on the ground level, you guys can't see into the interior of any of the buildings. So for anyone, again for Don's sake especially, for any of the time you're kind of glancing into buildings, you actually are unaware. Otherwise, this door over yonder is closed.
Can I roll a perception check?
Sure. What are you trying to?
I want to perceive what. I guess the best way to put it is, what's not there? What's out of place?
Okay, so you're just trying to see or notice something that is just unusual.
Yeah, I'm looking for clues. I'm looking for. I guess the best way to put it is something I feel should probably be here, but isn't. Maybe just. I'm kind of like trying to get back into this because we're in the middle of the map and doing this exploration segment.
Yep.
I have hit points here. I believe that. I have a note here written. Give me a second.
This would be from your breakfast this morning.
Yeah. I don't know if you gave me the one for. You gave me the 1d4 to stealth. I have that written down.
Yeah, Habanero, can you confirm what bonus you conferred to him?
Oh, yes, I gave you perception.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I will roll perception.
Sure thing.
See? It came in handy.
Before that did make that much better. Kind of walking up door. You're kind of glancing around. Being someone who spent, a decent amount of time in the slums, but not necessarily the Fisher's Ward itself, you do know there's kind of an order to things. There's always a little bit of chaos that's to be expected. And even in a place that's slightly better off and a bit more organized, the rules mostly hold true. It is the fact that when you're kind of looking around, everything seems pretty well organized. Everything's kind of where it should be. Except there's a ladder. So there are ladders that lead up to all of the doors on these second story buildings. So there's a ladder leading to the door. On the ladder, on about the fourth or fifth rung up, you see there's actually a small tear of bright ocean blue cloth. The tiny little swath, like a 1 inch by 1 inch. But it's quite ragged.
Where is that?
It would be located here on the ladder leading up to the.
Okay. Does it look like it was a product of it tearing off as a result of them climbing up, or is it a result of them passing by?
It definitely looked like it was torn off as a result of them ascending the ladder. Like they didn't just brush up against it walking by and have a tear. They were definitely on the ladder when the tear occurred.
Okay.
I'll give you that much.
Here's a question.
Mhm.
How tall is a halfling child?
Not
Because
very.
yeah, but compared to because Cora's a halfling.
Yeah. Core, we've established Core is 3.5 feet tall.
No, Cora is shorter than that. Actually, Cora's kind of a runt. Cora is 2'9".
Oh wow, he is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Cora's almost as short as they come.
It's a baby. It's the size of a toddler.
Halfling children when they were born are quite small. But after when they're around 5, they kind of all hit this age where they're kind of this weird height where they're kind of the same height for another 5 to 6 years until they actually kind of hit puberty, where then they eventually kind of grow into their full height. So halfling children can be anywhere between, if they're exceptionally ill-nourished or cared for, could be 1.5 foot tall, to anywhere to 2.5 feet.
Small.
That's terrifying.
Okay. Would it make sense for someone that small trying to use like a ladder like this, or I guess what I'm asking is, Core was small like this once. So is there anything here that makes sense that would allude to like someone of that stature trying to get their way around?
Well, there's nothing in this area, based off your 20 perception check, that tells you there is any other method to get into this building. You don't know exactly Ellery's height. The only thing you do know is that she's incredibly determined. So it would be a challenge for sure. But is it possible? Yes. And there's nothing around you that would go, well, this would make an easier way to get into this building. But you do know there are two adjacent buildings that are attached to this one via the wooden bridges above on the roofs. If it's easier to access either of the other buildings, perhaps she could have ascended those first, got onto the roof, and then crossed over to this one. That is perhaps the only other thing that you could kind of consider based off of which you
Okay. Well, in this case, I think Core sees this and he just looks for Jelena and says, I think I found something.
Mm-hmm.
You see this?
Yes.
Could have been hers.
Could have. Yelena's gonna start climbing the ladder to the door.
Yeah, Core's like going to start doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably actually going to just... I think he's just going to climb this ladder, honestly. Just, following.
Once she gets up, she'll look over the door for a second, just knock on it.
Yeah, at the top of the ladder, there is a small, like, just wooden plank that kind of acts as a platform. A little uncomfortable. You'd think it would be a little uncomfortable for most people, but for Yelena, who has exceptional grace, it is not. You knock on the door, and it kind of just very gently eases itself open. It does not appear to be locked.
She'll wait like 2 seconds before opening it.
No response? Or any noise that you can hear?
She will open it and peer inside.
When you peer inside, there are 2 beds present. Well, actually, there are 2 bunk beds present. There is a set of cabinets that reach the ceiling directly in front of you. There is a small I forget the proper name of the type of furniture. It's like a small dresser. It only has 2
Like a
drawers.
cabin?
Yeah, I suppose. And there's a ladder resting on top of it that goes up to the roof where there's a hatch, which, based off of your look outside, you know that's where the bridge goes. And then to your left, there's a small round table with several chairs that are kind of just messily not put back. And a smattering of playing cards on the table. someone was playing a game and then just decided to leave it there.
Am I able to put myself in the room, or
Yes. Or you would have come.
okay?
It's the door connection. You guys half door.
Yulia's gonna start looking around and see if she can get an idea of when the last time somebody stayed here was.
Okay. I will take either an investigation or survival.
I'll go with survival.
I'll aid.
All right. In which case, that will boost that up to a modified 20. Looking around, Yelena, with a little bit of aid from Core, you can tell currently there are actually what appears to be at least 2 residents that currently are staying here, based off of the goods and belongings you find in this floor-to-ceiling series of cabinets. Based off of their positioning, you think the rightmost bunk beds probably belong to them. And at a glance, you can tell that they've been made in such a manner that it looks like someone's staying in them, and they're not overly particular about how neatly they make their beds. There is a scent that you can kind of pick up that's a bit musky. You probably think these are sailors or doctors. But with the 20. You do also manage to find, tucked into the back of one of the left side cabinets, kind of out of the way, a small assortment of leather pouches, of which contain a couple of strongly scented powders. You get things like clove and lavender. They're this very fine dust, but not powdery. It's more grainy, like sand.
I'll call Hatner over and ask, is this something that she used in her performances?
Hatner, who was keeping an eye out on the corner, will run over in response to his name. Politely kind of push past the narrow of it. Excuse me?
Climbs up their backs.
Yeah, don't mind, I'm just gonna pull on your hair. So,
Yeah. Oh, you're fine.
He didn't need to pull on their hair, but he did it anyway.
He did.
Oh.
Once inside, you'll kind of take one of the pouches, open it, smell it, kind of give it a good look once over, and just kind of nod. Yep. She does this to add a little variance to her act. People find it interesting when fire explodes and then suddenly there's a bunch of smells in the air, or sometimes it changes the color of the fire, stuff like that.
No, it doesn't look like she's here right now.
Hatner will
We got. Good.
finish your thought for me.
Well, we gotta be proactive.
Hatner's going to walk over to the table where the splayed playing cards are. And he'll just kind of very cautiously just sort of thumb through them. Anyone notice this game of the Lord's Gambit on the table?
I noticed the cards, but I'm not familiar with the game. Is there something strange about it?
The solitary game. Play it by yourself.
Out of character, Core tends to play lots of games. Is this something that he's come across?
Do you have any gaming proficiencies?
I am lacking many proficiencies that Core probably should have. We're talking more like on a casual basis than anything else. I'm not proficient with any card games or anything. I mean, heck, I probably should have Tinkertool proficiency.
There. In which case, just roll a straight intelligence check.
Okay. $15.
Yeah, you're familiar. For a real world comparison, it's like solitaire.
Okay. At a glance at the game, what does the status of it look like?
They were roughly about halfway through. Except the thing that is most notable, and it's the thing Hatner is probably affixed on now that he sort of brought it to your attention. It was about halfway through, and then it looks like someone ran a hand through it, like right through the center of all the stacks of cards. And that's where Hatner is, and he's currently with his fingers kind of drawing through the pattern of the displaced game.
Core says what Hatner's thinking. Yeah, I see the game. Looks half finished. Looks like someone decided to make a mess of the cards halfway through.
Somebody who's familiar with Solitaire out of character, those cards stack pretty high sometimes. Would a halfling-sized hand be able to mess up as many cards in one swipe as what appears to be?
That's a really good question. You can make an investigation check to confirm.
But Core just know that?
Well, again, it's one of those, you don't know exactly Ellery's size.
Okay, fair.
But Yelena kind of giving it a once over as Hatner kind of moves to the window, kind of following a train of bodies clearly having, opens up the blinds and kind of is looking outside. Yelena, when you sort of go over to the table and you kind of do the same thing Hatner did, which is kind of you trace your fingers through the mess of the cards. Yeah, it's not impossible. A lot of the cards, because I've had like stacked, they sort of drag with one another when enough pressure is put on them. But it wasn't done with like any sort of like obvious like intention. It wasn't like someone walked up to it and with a hand was like, screw this game, and like swept it off the table. It just looks like someone kind of like someone's just hand sort of got dragged through it. You don't think it was done in such a way that they were purposely trying to like destroy the game someone was having. It seems like a byproduct.
As they're looking at the game, Core's gonna take a look under the table and he's gonna start investigating for like any type of signs of struggle or the fact that maybe someone got swiped away in the middle of doing this.
Okay.
All right. Do you want me to roll investigation?
Please.
Okay.
While I adjust my window here, because apparently we have a dog loose in our neighborhood.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to blow a use of inspiration to give myself a second chance here. Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay. Looking around for, there's no such obvious sign of a struggle. Like there wasn't, there's nothing toppled or anything out of the ordinary. It's really the card game that's the most obvious sign that something is a little bit off. But you connect a couple of things that's worth noting. On the table, there is in fact a set of lit candles. And the candles have been burning, and based off of the amount of wax that has sort of been displaced, they haven't been lit for very long. Maybe 10-15 minutes. And you do find on the left side of the table, Core's right, based off of where he currently is. Some of the cards have in fact fallen to the floor, but specifically closer to the side of the window, and none on the other side towards the end.
Is the window open?
The window, it was slightly ajar before, and now that Hatner's kind of gone over there, he has opened the shutters. He's currently leaning at the window, kind of looking around with an appraising.
Core will speak up. Candles are still lit. I'd say they were lit maybe about 10-15 minutes ago. That sounds about the length of time it would take to kind of get to this point in the game. She was just here, meaning we gotta get going pretty quickly if we're gonna do anything here. Core looks under the bed. Core looks under both of the beds. She's small.
That's fair. You don't find any children under the beds. That would have been very helpful. However, you do find a small backpack underneath this northernmost set of bunk beds. It was tucked all the way into the furthest back corner.
Core pulls it out and then says, "Hey, Jalapeno, you got that dog with you?"
No, we left them back, remember?
Nope.
Not really.
Oh. Yeah, we left him back with the was it Pops or with the
You
kids?
don't remember.
You left them with Puffs. Yelena is like starting to climb the ladder to go to the roof.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we're gonna do. I think Core's gonna pass the pack to Hatner.
Yeah, when he pulls himself back in from his little gander, he sees it, and you recognize the kind of realization he has in his eyes that clearly he recognizes. And he'll take it from you and kind of quickly begin opening it after sifting through stuff. This is Ellery's, and she wouldn't just leave it here. That doesn't bode well.
Like I said, 10-15 minutes.
I think we should just all quickly split up, see if there's anything in the area we can find nearby.
I'll go up on the roofs.
Buddy system. If you're gonna be going somewhere, Hatner, you gotta make sure you go with somebody else. You gonna say, Sam?
I was just gonna say that Estella would probably ask people to look out the window, because if they mentioned that it was ajar, maybe there's some sort of trace outside of it. Maybe something pointing to a certain direction or something.
Well, Hatner, who at least spent a little bit of time looking out the window, hasn't reported anything. So if Core, if you want to do a follow-up, you're more than welcome.
Sure. What's that, perception?
Investigation.
Alright. Yeah.
Real good. It would have been reasonable for Hatner to miss. This just literally has everything to do with perception and height differences. But Core, when you walk up to the window, because of your height, you kind of have to like raise yourself up to actually be able to look out and down, which is what Hatner was doing. And you saw his hands kind of run along the sill, and there was really nothing obvious he came away with. But it's because you're so low and you just look up. When you're kind of looking up to regard just the window itself, you actually see on the top of the sill on the outside a series of long scratch marks, like something entered in from the roof.
Core just scowls and then points it out.
What do you see?
Yeah. Shit.
Horse found some claw marks. We should split up in the pairs quickly and see if we can find anything. She might still be within the ward.
Estella nods and says, well, we better get to it. Let's see what we can find. Or let's see if we can catch up.
Queen, you want to go with Hatner? I'll go with Yelena. And
Yeah,
then
sure.
the twins could take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Heroes.
take
Split
Hatner.
up for once.
You're gonna split up?
No, it was an attempt at a joke, Core. I'm sorry. I'll try not to do those anymore.
You know what? You've got no impulse control. He, Korth pulls out a signal whistle and throws it to you.
Oh.
You
Thank-
find her, you find trouble, you blow that. You blow it like I'm the only person who can put you out, okay?
Okay.
Is the hatch to the roof unlocked? Is it easy to just get out?
It is. It is.
Once she's up there, Yelena's gonna take a quick look around, see if she noticed anything that maybe we couldn't see from the ground.
A quick perception check then.
Oh, blue inspiration. 14
Oh.
it is.
A quick glance around. Other than, again, what is a relatively active ward, people kind of, moving from place to place. A lot of traffic coming in and out of the tavern. Nothing obvious.
Wait, what are you looking for?
Anything.
Yeah, I'm just on the roof looking for anything.
Oh, you said on the roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stella did go up there.
Yeah, Yelena's gonna try it just because she's new to this magic. She's gonna focus on that picture that Pop showed her of Ellery and just try to paint a picture as best in her mind of her
Okay.
and try to send a sending to her.
Ooh, okay. Before any of the messages sent, roll me a D100.
95.
Alrighty then. What is your message?
Ellery, I'm a friend of Hatner. We're looking for you. If you can give us any clues to where you are right now or where you're going, we're trying to help. Pop sent us.
Okay. There is a beat, like quite literally just a heartbeat that passes. Before you get a sudden response, a voice inside my head. I don't know where I'm going, but something currently has me and is carrying me away. And I'm gonna check. See if Ellery can see anything around her that she can give you guys a physical clue to try to. Wow, that's unfortunate. because of the way she's being carried and being slightly scared, she had disadvantage on her check. She rolled a natural 20 and a 2.
Oh no.
And so you just kind of get, and as a child not understanding what sending magic is, you kind of just get a bit of a rambling response of, there's a lot of tall buildings that are on stilts. There are people playing cards. I hear music, and just like keeps going on, and eventually just.
Yelena's gonna shout down that she managed to get through to her with a message. She's being carried off somewhere.
And the only thing you got is that you know she's still in the Fisher's ward somewhere.
Yeah, Yelena will just say she's still somewhere in the ward, but she can't get anywhere.
Also, she's nearby. She's near music. Or was near music.
So that is not a very substantial clue, if only due to the fact that the Jewel of the Sea, this enormous tavern, the music can be heard from almost any place in this part of the ward.
Okay.
It's worth mentioning. So what are you doing? Who's going where?
All right. But like I said, Cor's gonna just stick with Yelena, and I will be right back. I need to use the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Yelena's gonna ask Hatner if he knows if there's any sewer systems in the slums here.
Yeah, there are some beneath this ward, but you have to swim through them if you go down into them because of the river. Everything's just up, just all the way up to the tunnels filled with water.
In that case, I think Yelena is going to be kind of running across rooftops as best she can, making her way toward the city. Making her way? Going towards the city proper, assuming that the hag is probably trying to get her inside the city.
All right, so that's eastward. Man, this is gonna be the worst timing for Core ever. So you can get up onto the roof of the building, and presumably you're gonna move to this one. You're gonna move to this one. Are you going to try to make what is a 40-foot leap, or this more accommodating 15-foot leap?
The 15-foot leap.
Okay.
Yelena can make that.
You carry core piggyback for the jump.
I'm pretty sure Yelena also knows that would. His core can follow you up to that point thanks to the bridges on the rooftops, but when you get to that point, you're gonna have that moment where you know, like in a classic action movie where someone's staring at like a 20-foot jump on a very tall building and going, "Can I make that with a running start?" In which we know Yelena can, because her grace transfers well to this sort of acrobatic. But core maybe not so much. But since we're gonna have to wait for core to see how that's going to go, we're going to see where our pairs have segmented. So since Sam has just stepped away to go check on the baby,
Yes.
I'm going to pick on you, Greg.
Yes. Really don't want to head straight west in case they need help, and then I'm having to.
There's also the end of the.
Can we? Yeah. Can we head? Can we head south?
Sure. Do you want to follow something that resembles a road, or do you want to try to pass underneath the Jewel of the Sea?
I want to try and pass underneath.
Okay. The Jewel of the Sea is unique in that it is not supported on stilts; it's supported on masonry, and there are tunnels.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where you're going to go.
Yep.
I think knowing that, the best possible net to cast, not knowing where exactly you're going to pop up and seeing that Yelena and Cora are heading somewhere that's going to resemble east-ish, I think Hatner's going to insist him and Estella just go straight south the way you guys did. Even though you guys didn't see anything on the way up, he just wants to be as thorough.
Double sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since we're kind of in this awkward holding pattern of like one player from every group kind of being away, I say we just take a quick 5-minute bio break.
Sure.
Good.
So we're just gonna go do that. So we're gonna come back 8:20 or 20 past.
Throw something in the washer real quick then.
Thank you. Okay, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not the dude.
Sorry, you went to the bathroom. Sam went to take care of baby, so like we were missing too many people to keep going. So we're just gonna take a quick 5 minutes.
That's fair.
I've returned.
Welcome back.
Now we play the waiting game.
Uh-huh.
The game's a little less fun than Dungeons and Dragons.
What a terrible game to be playing.
Who doesn't? I blame Greg.
We're just being mean to him today.
Maybe. But I don't enjoy it. Also, it's really weird. I'm on my new computer and I'm still adjusting to like everything. Things work. Crazy.
Wow.
It's also, you know, I went from a computer that I kind of strung along with occasional upgrades for like, oh, my computer. College still, so like 2010. And I've been stringing it along with upgrades ever since. And then I just went from passable to as modern as humanly possible, and it's like a world. Was the best late Christmas birthday present ever.
Oh, I guess it didn't go through, but I'm here.
Oh, hi Sam. Welcome back. We're waiting on Greg.
Hi. Yeah, he's just making some, he said he's making himself a waffle.
Well, yell at him. It's past 5 minutes. He's being slow.
How dare you make a waffle?
That's my fault. I was, talking his ear off about rats.
I'm alarmed. Hopefully not because they are in the walls.
No, they're pet rats. They're not.
Oh, nice.
Those
Pet rats
kind of
are cool.
rats, yeah. Yeah, they're really cool, except they're really ticking me off. Because they've decided they no longer like their food bowl. So as of 2 weeks ago, they've decided that they're gonna keep knocking the food bowl over into the little edge that's like right across from the top edge of where the food bowl is. So every time they knock it down, it knocks food everywhere.
Yeah, I can
And
see why that'd be
so now-
frustrating.
Yeah, so now I have to frickin' clean up the pellets off the floor, and now I have to go buy one of those connector feeders, the ones that connect to the cage, just so that they can stop knocking it over because it's getting obnoxious.
See, the problem with a food bowl is that it has a limit to how much food it can carry, and that's a no-no. It needs more food.
But that's just the thing. The food bowl will be full, and they'll just knock it off the edge, and I push it all the way back too, so that's like in a corner, and one of them goes out of their way to go behind the corner to push it into the other side, and so it knocks all the food out. And I just wanna Homer Simpson them sometimes, because I'm just like, come on, man, you're acting like a Bart. I need you to be a Lisa.
I appreciate this. Greg,
The waffle has made him.
is he making the waffle from scratch?
No. They're like Eggos. So he's probably waiting on the toaster. He also changed some clothes as well. It sounds like he's going upstairs right now. I can hear his feet just thundering against the floorboards.
Hopefully the rest of them is attached.
Yeah, yeah, that would be hopeful. That would be hopeful.
What a horrific reality in which we live, in which Greg's feet have become sentient and are now marching through your house.
Honestly, again,
March.
I think it's less terrifying that his feet have sentience and more that they have the capability to disembody themselves. That's significantly more alarming in my eyes.
I don't know. It's like that image of Kirby removing their shoes.
Oh, I hate that image. Also,
Oh.
I'm back. Hi.
Hi. 5 minutes late.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
It's all
Don't
your
worry, I
fault.
told them that I kept you.
No, it's all your fault.
No, it's all your fault. Sorry, he said it. He's
Yep.
a DM. He makes the
It's
rules.
true.
Sorry,
Yep,
buddy.
I am God here, so it's your fault, Greg.
He is the god hand.
Yep. I mean, she has a baby.
I broke.
Like, that's basically she has a perpetual excuse to be off the hook every time.
Okay,
This is true.
but here's the thing. This is my 5th day without caffeine, and I had to crack and make me a cup of coffee because otherwise, I was gonna hate myself.
Were you trying not to have caffeine?
Yes,
Okay.
but that was for a reason I will not disclose on stream.
Yeah, fair,
It was
fair.
semi-serious. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, I hope everything's well.
Yeah. I think
We can vamp about it later.
Yeah.
And by vamp, I mean talk about it seriously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, hey, we're back. So because we were in the middle of some pairing off and some directional choices with 2 players being temporarily absent, we took a quick break, but now we're back. So we're gonna try to find out where people are going. So perhaps the less controversial is that people were picking directions. Habanero have opted to go through the small series of tunnels that are beneath the Jewel of the Sea, because it is raised up on a set of a series of masonry. Yelena and Kor are on rooftops and are going to be doing some jumping, which we're going to get to in a second. But again, less controversially, Stella, Hatner is suggesting that the 2 of you go south, back the way you came, just to kind of cover as much of a reasonable net as possible to make sure that there's really no chance of Ellery kind of slipping from the group's grasp. I just wanted to clear with you if that or if Stella had another suggestion.
Well, they said that Ellery sounded like she was going. Did it sound like the music was growing louder, or if it was growing dimmer? Did she say at all?
She didn't
Was
say.
it? Okay. But she just knew that she heard music.
Yeah, which, as mentioned earlier, is not hard to do. The Jewel of the Sea is in the center of the ward.
Yeah.
The music is very loud. You basically hear it from it.
Yeah, so my suggestion, then yeah, she'd be fine with what he's suggesting, because her suggestion would have been to either go towards or away from the music. But if we don't know, then looking back that way is probably the best thing to do. So she'll say, yeah, that's fine. I'll follow you towards the south.
So we're just going to the first thing, which is, we know we're kind of in a quick situation, so I'm gonna move you in. You're 60 feet down because you're sprinting. And now, perhaps more interestingly, Yelena, who went up onto the roof, followed shortly by Kor, has identified the most reasonable direction to head into is the land, or rather go to jump onto the roof of the tavern. There is a 10-foot jump that is required to make the closure. And we know Yelena is capable of it, but the question is Kor?
You know what? I might have to think of my backpack that can help me out with that. I do not carry a pole with me.
No, you don't.
I carry a grappling hook, though.
That'll certainly help.
Can I, use the grappling hook to, Indiana Jones myself across or something to that effect?
It'll help you because so the problem is your long jump is 8 feet.
My long jump is 9 feet.
9? Oh, strength of 9.
Yeah, odd score.
I assume. Okay. Well, it's 9 feet, so you're just short.
How dare you make a joke at my expense?
So you basically there are a couple of options. One, Core can just take the running head start, try to make the jump, and then you can make an athletics check to try to make up the difference, the extra foot you need. And if you roll high enough, you succeed without any finagling. You can try to use the grappling hook to do something with it. There's really nothing on the other side of the roof for it to really latch onto other than the edge of the roof. So it would prevent you from falling, and you could climb up and catch up. But there's no obvious or easy guarantee to help you get straight across. So basically, what do you want to do to try to get over?
I think as we're running, Core is gonna throw, basically, say, Yelena, take the end of this, and pass her the end of the grappling hook.
Smart.
And just leap together. And just hang on to it with both hands as he runs.
Yelena, you're alright with that?
Yeah, she'll grab it, hold on tight, kind of probably getting an idea of what Core is using her for.
Fair enough.
She is not 100% confident in this plan, but it's Core falling if it fails, so...
Well, if it fails tremendously enough, it could be both of you.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's find out. So you both make the jump. We know Yelena, calculations make the mark, can make the jump no problem. Or just make me an athletics check.
All right. Here you go. That is 7. Do I want to use inspiration on this? I don't know if the grappling hook helps me at all, but
well, I'm going to tell you, you're going to fall as it currently.
This is important. Sure, I'll make one more attempt. You know what? We did our best. So at that point, as he falls short of the jump, just so probably, you know, he's going to like call out Yelena's name.
Yelena, what do you do in reaction? You hear Core call out Yelena's name. You know definitively that this was kind of what could happen, was that he was just not going to make it. So what does Yelena do holding the grappling hook from the rope?
She's gonna land on the other side and just really quickly try to steady her feet and just hold it.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
Sure, I'll blow inspiration because I don't want to fall.
Okay. That helped. You land on the roof with grace and poise, the rope in hand. You hear a Core call out your name, and instinctively you turn and grind your heels into the roof, leaning back against the weight that you know is soon coming to pull on you. And you manage to grind yourself to a halt. Core, you are holding onto the rope, and you are just at the edge of the roof.
Core, without missing a beat, since this was the plan, just begins climbing.
Yep. With Yelena acting as an anchor, Core, you can easily climb up. You've made it.
Core, just comments to Yelena. Hell of a trust fall. Let's not do it again.
Just drops the grappling hook and starts running.
Falls to his death. Yep. just continues running. Grappling hook scrapes along the roof for a moment as he bundles it up, expecting to maybe to have to do this again.
Fair. So you guys are gonna. I'm assuming you guys are sprinting, right?
Yeah, I would assume that too. Which, if it's a sprint, Core can more than keep up because cutting action.
Rogue double dip.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Mario Kart.
All right. You guys begin making your way over the rooftop of the tavern, heading in an eastwardly direction. So we're gonna put you guys right around, for the sake of not having you run through all of them. Habanero, you are going through the tunnels beneath the Jewel of the Sea. You make your way into the first 20 feet, and there is a three-way intersection. To the right of you, you can see the tunnel leads just outside, on the western side of the tavern, and then of course in front of you continues in further, and the left likewise, down to dark tunnels. Where do you want to go? Right, left, or forward?
I think they're gonna split up and each take down one of the dark tunnels.
Okay.
What
Don't worry, we have a way of reconvening if we need to.
What a terrible way to die.
I'm actually going to put a copy of your tokens on the DM layer, and I'm going to move you around.
Where we run into the completely unrelated giant alligator that was just chilling underneath here.
Alligators in the sewer? No.
It's just
Jack is
Betsy.
just terrible flashbacks to Ruins 1.
Who was going south and who was going east?
We're gonna have Nero go south. Haba's gonna go east.
Okay. Okay. So I had you move 30 feet in. That's when you hit the first intersection, and then I've moved them another 30 feet. Nero has not hit another intersection. Haba does. It goes. You basically hit another three. You hit another four-way intersection. You coming from one of the directions. So you now have the option to go north, which leads you back outside. East, a slightly further distance, takes you back outside, and then south, which leads you down into the dark. Just so you were.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna just use a quick initiative for this. Where I'm just going to use a token to sort of signify. Okay. That wasn't what I wanted, but we're just gonna kind of reset ourselves. Yelena and Corp, you guys are darting over the rooftop of the Jewel of the Sea. It's flatter on the outside, but then towards the center of the tavern, it raises up going up towards a point towards the center. Do you want to try to go higher for perhaps a better vantage point, or are you going to skirt the outside for the sake of distance?
I think, because we're like still in close proximity of each other, right?
Yeah.
Cor will say, "I'll skirt the outside. You will go higher. We'll look."
All right. Haha, no, there's 4 different. Yeah, Yulita will start getting up higher to get a better look.
So
Cor will go zoom.
all right. Yeah, the top of the roof, Yelena, gets pretty steep. It's all right at first, and then it becomes increasingly difficult to the point that you kind of have to occasionally kind of scramble a little bit for a handhold to keep advancing. It's not quite, 90 degrees, but it's a pretty harsh slope. And at the top of it, there is a weather. But if you move what is your full dash? 60 feet?
Yes, 60. If you're letting me dance while I'm doing it, it could be 70.
You know what? Sure, why not? If you want to do a performance on the roof, why not? Go for it.
Fiddler on the roof.
Shaking her hips a little while she runs.
Yep. Some odd reason it makes you faster. It's weird. All right. Yeah. You can cover about 40 feet of ground, where the slope then becomes difficult terrain, and you can get about halfway up to the weather. When you get about halfway up, you still got a decent. You still have a better vantage point than you did previously. Make me a perception check at advantage.
Yes.
Good. So you are up and you are looking around. So while you are higher up, the vantage point isn't great necessarily because it gives you more vision. The tavern's very large. You're up on a slope on the back side, right? So it's blinding you at least from the southeasterly direction. It gives you a decent view directly east where there's a wide, straight street. But it does raise you above a lot of the noise that isn't just the buzz from the tavern down below, which is very easy to filter out because those sounds are predictable, especially for you who have done a lot of performances in tavern. So you know things to hear there, so you know things to listen elsewhere. And carefully, kind of getting a little ways up, looking around, a sound catches your ear. And you can hear the occasional shriek and scream of a young girl that is coming from... This is the part that's unusual. It's not directly east. It seems to be originating from around here. But it sounds more distant than just right there. Like it's echoing.
It's like she's being flushed out of toilet.
It's a weird way to put it.
Her knowledge of things like prestidigitation and minor illusion, does this seem like a magical effect that maybe Ellery left behind?
Good question. Just make me an Arcana check. And do you know the prestidigitation cantrip?
Yes.
So yeah, make me an Arcana check.
6.
Yeah. I was actually going to give it to you an advantage too for knowing the cantrip, but the 11, there's a chance, but you can't go, yeah, that's what that is.
Okay. She is going to shout towards Core that they're screaming that way and just begin making her way in that direction.
Core will...
I don't know if any of the other groups can hear her with like her kind of centralized position at this point, but
Are you going to try to shout it as loud as you can?
I think so, yeah.
Make me a Constitution check. Okay. Yelena, your voice carries pretty well. Let's see. Habanero, I need you guys to make a perception check at disadvantage. You guys are
Got it.
in the most difficult of places. Hatner and Estella, if you could just make a perception check. The most.
Do you want a separate one from each twin?
Yes.
Okay. That is from Haba. And then... Where is it? There it is. Oh, and that's a 3.
Hey, Quincy. All right, well, that kind of informs everything. So, Core, you hear Yelena. Make a perception check as well, Core.
Sure.
If you notice what Yelena.
All right. That will be a hard no.
Don't forget your D4.
Okay. That'll be a. You know what? It's about what you'd expect from Core.
Yeah, you don't hear what Yelena hears, but you do hear Yelena, and you do see Yelena gesturing over there. Like, so with your movement on this particular turn, you can get to the place where Yelena is at least gesturing at, and you can kind of glance down below, and from the edge of the roof where you're at, you can see the Jewel of the Sea is raised up on basically a large brickwork platform. You can see that there is a tunnel that is right below, that leads or feeds somewhere underneath.
Okay. Core will try to relay that. I think he shouts to Yelena because he's at a different angle. They're in the tunnel. Trying to put two and two together, since, you know, tunnel equates to sewer. But Core's not gonna fucking waste any time. Pardon my language. What do I got?
What's Core doing?
Just had the mental image of him trying to use the sack as a parachute.
I would not recommend it, but you can certainly try.
How far down is the tunnel?
Well, you're up on the roof. It's about 25 feet down.
You know what? I saw Yelena acrobatics to avoid fall damage. Core's gonna try to be a cool guy.
Jump off the roof.
I'm gonna try to do it like Yelena does.
Okay.
Oh, my leg!
That's exactly how this is gonna go.
I kind of want it, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? I'm so
Look, you know how
conflicted.
my rolls are. It's very swingy.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm very concerned. But I guess we're gonna do it. Core, make an acrobatics check as you leap from the roof,
Here you go. I hope you get your wish.
shaking your hips. Okay.
It's a pretty good roll.
Yeah. You jump off of the roof, and there's a moment of falling where you're like, wait, this might have been a bad idea. But then you just try to remember what Yelena does, and you control your fall a little, working with a little bit less, a little less dancer and a little bit more survival instinct. And by the time you get to the bottom, you end up doing a classic tuck and roll maneuver to try to absorb part of the fall momentum. And you do. And you don't end up hurting yourself at all. You're actually quite surprised about it. But sure enough, you now have landed, and behind you there is a small stone tunnel, relatively cramped. It's about 5 feet tall, about 4 feet across. And there's just a very gentle, very small amount of stream running along the cobblestone down below.
Core tries to cast light on a, we'll say it's a What's the best thing they can pull out here? We'll cast light on a bell that he has.
Okay.
And I don't know if I have to roll the religion check or not, I assume.
You don't. It works.
Kor says to himself a little conviction. We're gonna do this together. And then shouts out, "You're coming to right, Yelena."
How far up is Yelena at the moment?
Well, basically from where Core, so your rough position would be about there. This is there in my head. You're about 70 feet away from him, and about 20 feet up the slope. Which is to say, a little bit of acrobatics could get you a greater.
Yep, she's gonna like slide down the slope, kind of pick up speed, and then do her, her trademark jumping off of high buildings, because it's something that she does a lot.
Yeah. We'll get you there when we come back around to you.
Yep.
Yelena's the one who breaks her leg.
At the show thing.
It's gonna be silver light all over again, Quinn.
I don't think I'm gonna get hit by a truck this time.
You're gonna get hit by a truck. You're gonna get hit by a fantasy truck.
We got our
delivery truck is here.
We got our boys Haba and Nero. So Haba is at an intersection again, with two tunnels that obviously lead him outside, the north and eastern ones, and then one that heads south, that is dark. What direction would he like?
Do they hear Core yelling at all in the tunnels? I'm assuming no.
Wait, yeah, with your threes, no.
No. All right. Let's keep going deeper.
Okay.
Into the belly of the beast.
Haba's
You
currently
said,
walking down a long tunnel.
Mhm.
Nero, however, after walking south for another 15 feet, comes to another intersection. Westernly, a tunnel that leads outside, and then south and east, tunnels that lead further into darkness.
Let's keep going south.
Go along.
You'll never find me in this. I'm gonna be lost in these tunnels forever.
He lives there now.
I can't wait. Tell me if you've seen my lizard friend.
He's just chilling. This is his vacation home.
He's the one who's abducted Ellery. It turns out they just really like eating halflings.
Oh no!
That's horrific, but somewhere in the world that piece of lore is true.
You might not like this truth, but it is the truth. A truth.
That horrific piece of news aside, Hatner and Estella, you both can hear Yelena calling from the top of the roof, which is demanding that you head east.
All right.
So the options are, there are three choices. I'll start with the most boring of the choices, which is to head immediately backwards, the way you came, and run around, more or less following the ground path that could have been taken eastward. There is a tunnel immediately to your left that cuts underneath the Jewel of the Sea, which you could hope spits you back out somewhere further east. It is slightly more direct, but a little bit more uncertain. Or you could run south and try to run around to maybe get ahead of where the chase might be.
I think since time is kind of the essence, since, she needs help now rather than later.
Agreed.
I Stella's going to suggest to try to get ahead of this thing as fast as possible.
The child seems to agree.
So, running an intercept path southward.
Yep, because that's what you said, right? Go southward and hope to get ahead,
ahead?
of her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Hatner doesn't disagree. So you guys redouble your efforts, sprinting 60 feet. Now, and all of you, it's in the middle of the day. The Fisher's Ward is busy. A lot of you are gathering attention. None of this is being done stealthily at all, with the exception of Haba and Nara, who are just out of sight and are maybe only getting looks from rats. But Hatner and Estella, who are literally breakneck sprinting down the street, and then Haba and rather Kor and Yelena, who are on the rooftop of the Jewel of the Sea. You guys are getting a lot of looks from people walking down the streets.
Yeah, it's fine.
Free publicity when they see me do a sweet backflip.
Yep, basically.
I look cool and people were watching.
Yelena, you are on an elevated position. You see Kor off in the distance, but you have a chance due to just some geometry based off of the slope of the roof in straight lines. If you want to risk and do a little bit of acrobatics, you can actually use this elevated position to actually cover more distance quickly if you would like, if your check is planned.
Absolutely going to try.
Of course. Acrobatics check.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, I think it's good enough. I think
Let's
it's
get you today.
Yeah, I think it's good enough that Yelena from this raised position just like Olympic level acrobat series of hand flips and twists and twirls. You end up using all of the distance, the advanced height you have, landing, spring vaulting over, and then you actually using all of that momentum get to the edge of the roof and land right next to Kor, as Kor was also just kind of gathering his bearings.
I think it's literally one of this is like Kor's about to run in and just starts like, coming, Yelena, and like you literally like land directly in front of him, like you're like the bot, and he just stares for a moment like in awe.
Yeah, perfect landing, grace, poise, all of it. And silent. It wasn't even like, oh man, that was like so much momentum and you landed hard. No, you landed perfect.
I think he's actually taken aback by that.
She does not stop to say anything. She just keeps running.
All right. Now that you're both down here, make me another perception check. Both of you.
All right. Well, I've got a light source.
Yep, that will help for visual.
Yelena's kind of holding out her scimitars at this point, I think, just to give herself some light as well.
The tunnel in front of you, especially with the light source in Kor's hand, you can see goes down for about 30 feet and then forks. Well, rather, again, the four-way intersection. Cuts left, right, keeps going forward. But then now that you're here, Kor, you've landed. Yelena probably has a little bit of blood rushing. There was a lot of adrenaline involved, so there's a little drum beat in her ear. However, Kor, focusing in, you can now hear what Yelena heard. You do hear the sound of a child that is being very vocal and resistant to something, and it is echoing from further down in the tunnel. Ultimately, not too far away.
Kor just keeping up with Yelena, just tugs on her leg, and just starts with a single gesture guides her in the direction of where they need to run, and continues just basically at that point I think he's the one who's in the lead. At that point, the chroma cloth comes out.
Okay.
Yep, Yelena will take Core's word on this and just start running in the direction that he is.
Yeah, him drawing his weapon is also kind of like that signal of confidence. Like he thinks like it's gonna be time.
Core. So Yelena, for your natural 20 and the immense degree of acrobatics which you've displayed, I will give you an additional 30 feet to move into the tunnel this turn. So you've moved just a grand total of 100 feet. Core, however, you were down there already, haven't done anything, so you have the full gamut that you. Do you want to move the full rogue double dash?
Yeah, because I don't know what else he's gonna be using his bonus action for.
Okay.
So 50 feet, and then if he has to use his action, that'll be another 25 feet he could cover.
All right. Well, let's give you some information. 30 feet in is when you hit the first intersection. You look left or right, based off of the light that's coming off of the spell that you've illuminated. You don't see anything. The sound you hear is continuing south. The sounds of the struggle.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and assume you're going to keep going south.
That would be a very, very wise assumption. Yes.
20 feet further, using 50 feet total by that point, the light is bleeding further ahead of you, and it is just catching the edge of a humanoid shape. They are likewise moving at a very steady pace.
Is the crying coming from that?
It's coming from that. It's coming from the same direction.
You know what? Let's try it. We're gonna take the shot.
Okay.
Whirl, 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 whirl. How many feet?
Let's see. You're at 50 currently.
Mhm.
It is basic math some days is most impossible. 35 feet away.
Why is it just out of my increment? Oh wait, you said it was 20 feet. I got 20 feet. I moved 5 more feet with the rest of that bonus action. Now I'm in increment.
Well, they would require you to double dash to get within the.
Yeah, but you said 20 feet.
Well, yeah. At the end of that extra 20 feet, so the full 50 feet is when you finally catch sight of the figure.
You know what? It's a hand crossbow. This is a bother. Okay. Well, we'll make our attack a disadvantage then.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeet. Oh,
Those are good numbers.
if that connects.
Going to certainly hit something.
All right. I don't know if this will qualify or not, but
There is no sneak attack. Arming it.
Drop your halfling sack.
Strength saving. I guess let's find out. It's going to succeed on the natural 9.
I'm gonna roll something for myself. Okay. I don't even know what this is. But I want to use my fate dice on this.
Okay.
The fate D100 roll.
Yep. And what are you trying to influence? What do you want?
I want to influence the outcome of this. I want this to basically be like, I guess, I want Cora's really, really determined to make sure that every one of these kids is safe. So I think, in this particular case, he wants this to be the hag. He doesn't want this to be like, by some chance that this is like some just random like dude in the place here. He wants this to be something that is holding, the child, and he wants to basically be able to really just make the difference here. He wants to, I suppose, is it luck? Is it intuition? I think.
I'm still not exactly certain as to what your goal with it is. Are you trying to confirm an identity?
I think we're trying to confirm an identity here, and I think what we're, I think basically, there are too many unknowns. Let's leave it.
Okay. Well,
let's leave it until I know something for sure.
I will give you something. Roll
Okay.
a perception check at disadvantage.
All right.
Because you've got some dim light shed onto the figure.
That is an 8.
While you're not going to get any extensive information, it is humanoid in shape. It is not a regular humanoid shape. It appears very thin.
Okay.
We found Lanky Kong.
Found Lanky Kong. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would basically say, like, with that D100 rule is, like, not so much confirming an identity as, wanting that lucky shot to pay off. But, I digress. Let me roll damage.
Okay. Well, you don't roll damage unless you're using the superiority option.
Oh, okay, then... Oh, I do forego damage.
Yes. Yeah. For the plain old maneuver, you forego it in lieu of a strength. Use the superiority option, you get to also make fun.
Okay, I don't think it's worth the, using the damage on this, because I think the other one's much better.
Okay. Yeah, and for the record, now that I have a slightly better grasp on what you're aiming for, if you want to use that fate dice, you can. I have something I can give you if it works out well. I just can't tell you what.
Yeah, sure, why not? Can't believe that I'm about to roll another 1, and I'm about to kill the child.
Certainly would not go well.
Absolutely. Alright, well, here we go, people. Peoples. This is for you, Quinn. I can never roll well.
Well, no offense to you. The dice are going to keep doing this to you because you cursed yourself with a really early 1. And narratively speaking, I don't have to do anything to make you suffer. The dice rolls already know.
Oh, okay.
It's appropriate. That being said, the projectile you fire and it ricochets down the tunnel. It misses the target and you hear it skip off of part of the masonry and it actually bounces back and almost strikes you as it lands into the small puddle of water at your feet right now.
I've got some good aim.
Just imagining all Yelena hears is like mixed screaming with ping, 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 ping.
Basically. All right, our boys, Haba and Nero. You're in the set of tunnels. Haba is currently heading down 15 feet further. He reaches yet another intersection. West heads out. East heads into darkness. South heads into darkness.
The boys don't know what's going on outside, so they don't have any indication to stop looking. Keep going through the darkness. It's just south.
Oh. Okay. Nero continues on down, and another 30 feet, he reaches yet again another intersection. West reaches outside. Further south, about 60 feet, you can see the sunlight of outside, so quite a distance away. East is the only direction that leads into darkness.
We're just gonna keep going south. I think Nero's had enough.
All right, 30 feet further south, you can see basically outside of the tunnel where you're going to exit. Hatner and Estella are still breakneck sprinting. At a pretty good pace, I should say. You guys are here now.
Oh, good. We're making strides.
Yeah, it's actually really, it's not to be underestimated with constant sprinting. It gets you a lot of okay. We're back at the top. Yelena, you can see down the tunnel where Core is based off of his illuminated bell.
I'm gonna just keep full sprinting, following the light.
By the way, I do just want to say that thing was on fire as it just ricocheted all over.
Yeah. That's why I gave you your perception check to try to see if you could identify what was carrying Ellery a little better. But then it plunked in at your feet into the water and just kind of Yelena, full speed, is going to move past Core. You see ahead of you, Yelena, a silhouetted figure, very obviously carrying something over its shoulder, as it is heading towards a tunnel exit in front of it. It is kind of just at the edge of it, so the sunlight's kind of glaring in. You see just this dark, silhouetted figure. Make a perception check.
Working.
Okay. It's not immediately apparent any kind of nuance, but you've seen enough of them to get an idea that the thing running in front of you is composed of what looks like wood and branches and sticks, in such a fashion that you are pretty positive that running down this in front of you is a straw. However, you can make out enough detail to know that it is not identical to all the other ones you've fought.
She'll just say as she keeps running, she's not stopping at any point, and just says, "It looks like a straw man, but it's different." But that is all for her. She's just trying to catch up to it. using her action and everything.
Sure thing. Like I said, you get pretty much all the way down this tunnel, right as you're kind of watching this thing emerge into the sun.
I'm not quite up to it yet, right?
No, you're not. It's got about 45 feet on it. Assuming you were dashing.
Yep.
Okay, Core.
All right. Core will move 25 feet.
All right.
Has it moved any further?
Oh yeah, it's sprinting.
Okay.
It is currently 70 feet away from you.
Okay.
After the 25 feet away.
Bonus action dash, and then he's just gonna fire again.
Okay. You will just squeeze past Yelena, which is good news. And then you're more than welcome to make another save.
Sure.
It will be
Disadvantage.
45 feet away. It will be.
All right, that's gonna be a 16.
All right, it's gonna hit. What is your damage?
Second, first, same as the first. Because I'm not using superiority, I can repeat this.
Okay, so no damage, and make it drop it.
Yep.
All right. What's the DC? Be close.
I think that you said this scales off my intelligence,
No,
or
it
just a scale of dexterity.
He uses your dex. It's 8 plus
Alright, and-
your dex plus proficiency.
DC will be 15.
It will just succeed.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a 20 in a score.
Oh, well, I mean, it still beat. It would have still beat. It got a 16.
Yeah. Oh, okay, then that. Yep. Okay. He hits it again and is unable to make it drop. It is still fire. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I had that, but this is a construct. Oh, it's a creature.
Well, I mean,
Why didn't I use that?
every monster.
I will just have to remember that next time. All right. All right. Pass turn then. Huh?
Sorry, I forgot. I was so focused on just keeping the order of things.
That is okay.
Calming chase music.
Yeah. Okay. We're back up to our boys, Haba and Nero.
Alright. Nero's gonna finish getting out of the tunnel.
Okay. 30 feet will get you just outside. I will now officially, Nero. Nero is now here.
And he turns around and sees, like, Estella.
Hadna and Estella are just
hello.
like breaking around the corner in a full-on run.
Oh, which way are we going?
We're trying to head them off. Hadna just points to the east.
Got it.
If Nero would like to keep sprinting, you have another 30 feet.
Yes, I will do that.
Well, now you're free to move yourself because you're in a place where you. They said they're heading. You probably should run. You're running.
My bad. I constantly need a just like an act like a compass.
Literally every time I have to distinguish east and west, I say never eat shredded wheat in my head. Like without fail.
Well, that's funny. Mine is never eat soggy waffles, which is funny actually. As long as they're soggy from syrup.
Mhm.
And then
Right,
Haba, who is still beneath the tavern, he's going to move another 15 feet and will come to an intersection. West, quite a distance off, you can see it leads outside beyond 60 feet. Southward, darkness, but very far off in the distance, there is light. And eastward is dark.
Would it be metagaming to say east?
No.
I feel like it would. Alright, yeah, we'll go east.
Eastward he goes.
Hoppa just stumbles upon like a planker portal down there somewhere. Goes on a completely new adventure.
He ends up back on Dinosaur Island somehow.
No, you end up on the actual dinosaur island,
Oh no!
which is far worse. Because the CR ratings of actual dinosaur island are much higher.
Oh.
Okay, those are the boys. So, Hatner, they'll just sprinting. Now basically neck and neck with Narrow.
Unless I misty step. No.
I mean, you could. Screw you, Narrow.
Yeah, just poof. It shows
Just
up
a
30
spider.
feet away.
Just a
Ha ha! Literally out of spite, it drives her.
No.
Spite is the greatest weapon.
True.
Okay. Well, since we're actually put him Core and Yelena, you will see the creature make it outside and then jump from its place out of sight. However, Estella, Hatner, and Narrow, you watch as this spindly creature leaps onto the side of this building over here and begins climbing up
Oh, what the?
and gets up onto the roof.
Oh, the man, the urge to use. Hey, what the heck? Put that down. Thank you. The urge to use magic here is very strong.
I bet it would be.
If only you were an evocation wizard with sculpt spell. Sculpt a fireball around.
Well, you know what? I got fireball. That's all I can tell you.
Screw that person's abode. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I'll pay for it later.
No.
For the record, just so it's clear, we're going to get into an official initiative order once Core and Yelena have emerged from the tunnel, which will be this time. But
Hava will stay in the void.
this creature has jumped up into the side of the building and, like a spider with multiple limbs, has scuttled up the side carrying a it's got an obvious sack of some kind over its shoulder, and it scrambles up the side of the building and gets up onto the roof and is making its way south. Yelena.
Just using as much for his movement as it takes to get out of the tunnel to see where it went.
It will require a full 50 feet to get out.
Does she see which direction it went?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Yes, it is not being stealthy. You can see it just make it over the edge of the roof directly above you, and begin scrambling along the roof.
And she'll use the remaining 20 feet from her dash to just try to keep up with it.
This is where you've emerged, Yelena.
Does there happen to be like a ladder on that side or anything of the sort?
The nearest ladder, it's actually a set of stairs. Leads up to these large double doors.
She'll use her 20 feet to get like right there. And spot narrow in the distance and be like, well, she doesn't have to use an action to send the sending.
Core.
Move bonus action, pursue until I can basically get it in line of sight.
Yeah, it will take you 45 feet to get out of the tunnel.
Okay. Can you put me where Yelena is?
Well, I mean, not where you would require another dash.
Okay.
You
All
are
right.
here now, after 45.
Now for the thing that I remembered. Core has the prayer beads in hand. And we'll cast command.
This one will take a religion check. Okay, it will work.
Okay. Core will let's see. So the command that we're going to be going with is approach.
What is the DC?
I don't know what this is based off of.
It should have been on the prayer bead description.
Let me take a look.
I thought that's where I put it.
You've set the DC as DC 13. This is going to be a wisdom save.
Yep.
I don't know if the DC increases or not because there was Okay.
I will alert you if there's any.
Yeah. So I think when Core grasps upon this, Core tries to do this with as much conviction as possible, grabbing it, and he says, "In the name of the Mother, approach me!"
There's a moment where you come out of the tunnel, prayer beads grasped, and you give your command, staring up at the creature that's just scrambling out of sight. And you can tell there's a moment where it pauses and keeps running. Even with its poor wisdom, it rolled it.
I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, am I cutting out a lot, by the by?
You spoke and then the word cut out. I think it might just be me.
I mean, cut out a little bit.
Okay, hopefully that'll be a little better. I'm just adjusting my clip. It gets right up to the edge of the roof. It hesitates, but then it continues to run. Despite its poor wisdom, it rolled a natural 19.
Okay. That is my move. That is my bonus. That is my action. All right. Well, that is his turn.
Okay. We are officially going to roll initiative.
I assume that this expends the use of the spell, right?
Yes.
for the day.
For the command spell.
Yeah.
Oh, I was selecting the wrong token. Narrow is in the lead this time.
Well, Narrow's in the initiative order at 21.
I mean, they have the same turns.
Yeah.
I just don't know if his bonus is the same.
No. It's that rolled with Habba's thing, but because I had Narrow's token selected like on the map, that's why I put Narrow there. So that was rolled with like Habba's initiative.
All right.
I'm
It's just because I had the wrong token selected.
Well, yeah, I mean, so
going to.
we can still use the 19, but we just have to figure out what Narrow's initiative is.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a 2. I mean, so yeah, no, no, rather, you're right.
Same?
It's Habba that's still rolling.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good.
No matter what, it's still a 2. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what sheet you roll on for that, Greg, it's always going to be the same.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Got it.
Hobbit in the tunnel, looking around, being like, "Why do I hear boss music?"
Yeah. No, that's weird.
Oh well. Into the darkness I go!
Why do I suddenly feel like my actions are constrained to 6-second intervals?
Weird. Why is time slowed down so much? Okay. We just need Estella.
You might be dealing with a baby being a menace at the moment.
Oh, then I can roll rolls. Nice.
And we all rolled above 20.
Yeah, y'all rolled super well. All right. Well, we're gonna start off with Core.
How many feet away is this thing?
All right, we're getting into weird 3D dimensions. Feet up, it's on the roof, which is also another 20 feet up. Less than 40.
That does not help me because my range increment is 30 feet.
It's 30 feet away.
Okay. In that case, cunning action aim.
Okay.
And we will, at this point, we're just really frustrated, so we're gonna take our swing.
Go for it. Yeah, it's a hit.
That is a really good hit. I think we're gonna do, 2 things here this time. We are gonna disarming attack.
Okay.
And I think we actually will blow superiority on this, so we actually do get our damage.
Okay. Well, roll your damage while I roll a strength save again.
Let me roll the 3d6 sneak. Oh, wow, that didn't add quite as well as I thought it was going to be. So 21 fire.
Real good. It has finally failed its strength save.
All right.
Because you've done this, Core, roll me a d4.
Two.
Okay. So, you come out of the tunnel, sling in hand, whirl up a sling stone and fire it off. It ignites as it travels, striking its shoulder and arm that is currently holding this wiggling sack over one shoulder. It catches ablaze, and part of it, you hear just a snapping of branch and wood, and it drops the sack. And there's a moment where the sack falls, and it lands and wiggles onto the roof.
Okay. good enough for me. I only had to make 4 saving throws to get what I wanted.
Sorry, my dice are kind of hot today.
Well,
And as
now is
always,
the
my-
Mr. Strawman.
You have a 23.
Yelena does.
I was saying Mr. Strawman's hot now because you said him with 21 fire damage.
Ah,
But,
he doesn't like that.
Alright, climbing up, trying to get as close to this thing as possible. How far does 35 feet take me?
Well, 10 feet gets you up the stairs. And you're standing before the large double doors. Do you want to try to climb onto the roof?
Are there any footholds or anything that look like Yelena could potentially use them to just acrobatics her way up easily, or maybe not so easily?
To put it simply, there is nothing that will not make this half your speed.
Okay. I think just working with what she's got, she can, with a running start, leap 8 feet up into the air. So she's gonna just get up there as fast as she can.
Okay. All right. So 10 feet up the stairs, using that time to gather momentum and then jump. Just make me an athletics check. Gotta get you up onto that roof.
We will below inspiration.
Better. You will be able to successfully get onto the roof.
That is all of my 35, I assume, to get up there.
Yes.
All right. She will use her action to dash and just get right beside this thing. I knew there was a chance this became a weird rooftop or underground battle thing, but I did not make multiple layers of map for that. That person? That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it would have been.
Can't believe you didn't prepare for every scenario.
I know, how dare I? But this is going to be fine. So,
I'm sorry. Would you mind if I took back that dash action? I have something else in mind.
sure.
Seeing that Cora has managed to get it to drop her, I want to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
You will be there. And yeah, you can do that. The wisdom save.
No fire on that. DC 14, 9 psychic.
It's going to succeed.
Darn it. So it takes 4.
Yeah, I am. My shark bite is rolling super hot today.
All good. That is Lena's turn.
Can't help the dice rolls, even if they are really frustrating sometimes.
Unfortunately, my philosophy stops me from casually fudging rolls.
That's fair. I appreciate stopping my face in as legitimately as possible. Why can't you roll a 73 damage crit against me?
Don't worry, I will.
Thank you.
Estella, are you currently free?
Yeah, I'm here.
Swell.
Of course,
So
she's
things
free,
are
she's
getting weird,
American.
and Vision's about to get even weirder because I'm going to move one of my wall lines. So that way. Okay. Hopefully that's cleared up some vision lines a little better.
They're inside a building,
They're on top of the roof.
on top of the roof. Alright, so she's gonna walk up 30 feet, then she'll go around here.
Okay. Target is
Can she
110
see?
feet away.
Can she see up from here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty tall.
Okay, cool. She's gonna use Scorching Ray. She's gonna target the man's.
Yeah. Yeah, and fair. This is the current version of the straw man you guys have been chasing about.
Okay.
And now that you guys have actually had a chance to see it in broad daylight, it's different. It has multiple limbs. It has 2 sets of legs and 2 sets of arms.
Yeah.
One of them is made out of Candace and the other's made out of Claire. I got you.
Ah, you
I
figured
got
it.
you. Yeah, I did it. You're just gonna make it out of everyone that I love.
Absolutely. Well, in my
I
defense,
used my.
that other guy you made it someone you. So that was.
Well, you know what? I used my charisma token to make it one. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, Stella, Scorching Ray.
Yep.
3 attacks. Hit.
This one.
Also a hit.
And then 3.
Yep.
See, this is why we don't have you roll for.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when Sam's playing Estella, it's like, oh, Stella's just an absolute badass. I'm rolling.
When you do
It's a comedy of errors.
when you roll it, she jobs. She jobs so hard.
Let me see this. I think she's gonna expend 2 sorcery points to cast to quicken a spell.
Ooh. Okay. What spell are you gonna quicken?
My question is, can that be a regular spell, or can it all, or is it supposed to be a cantrip because I use a regular spell?
It has to be a.
Okay, for sure. I was just making sure
Yeah,
that that's what it was.
Yeah, there is a table rule that at higher levels you can cast first and second level spell on the same turn as other spells. But until then, it's just a cantrip.
For sure. I just need to always remember the rule, or else I messed up.
Yeah, it's cool. Before you do anything, however, allow me to just. There's a small narrative thing that I got to get through, which is everyone's kind of converging at this breakneck pace. Estella, you, Hatner, and Narrow are running in the streets. You see this thing clamber up top. You finally watch as something from down below wings, just zings up and wings it. It catches a blaze. It drops this wiggling sack it was carrying. And you just raise your hand and you fire off 3 bolts of fire that streak through the air, lighting it ablaze even further. It's predominantly sackcloth body, just burning to pieces. However, despite the immense amount of damage it suffered, you watch, all of you can observe as the sackcloth begins to fall away, and underneath is another interior of a creature that looks like it is unlike anything else from the other strawman you used. And the fire, while it consumes most of the exterior that was flammable, underneath is something that now looks like you see a pulse of magic, and the fire now looks like it begins to control it. Its head is now wreathed in flames, and you can see a grim facsimile of a face in the fire.
Wow.
This is now your new strawman.
Holy cow.
Spooky.
Are you sure that Kooky has nothing to do with this?
Close enough. I'm pretty sure.
Both. Okay. Narrative transformation now finished. Sam, you may.
No, you're good. And this guy is not a. He doesn't have a strong magical aura, right?
I mean, he's kind of glowing and on fire, and it looks like he's, taken to the fire. Like before it was like, oh no, fire, straw, bad. Now it's like, ah, fire, good.
David Dryman
no.
is inside the fire.
For the purposes of the siphon amulet though, is he a powerful match? Does he have a powerful magical aura?
Let me go double check.
Yes.
That is
Can't believe you're about to drink him like a
oh no,
like a straw man.
I was reading that.
Yeah, it says extremely powerful aura, but I don't know like what you would consider extremely powerful.
You know what? I would say in this instance, yes.
Ooh.
It
So
went
she'll
from
still-
it went from a state where in normal circumstances this creature would be dead to being super alive.
All right, so she will.
Wisdom save.
Yep.
Which it will fail.
Awesome.
You will
Again.
successfully siphon back a sorcery.
Yep. And so I will shoot out the firebolt, even though at this point I'm pretty sure it does nothing. But it's the only spell she has currently that's longer than 110. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't underestimate
15.
a firebolt.
A 15 does not hit.
Oof. It's okay. We still managed to at least have one extra sorcery point. It's fine. Or get back a sorcery point, so it's fine. That's it. That is her entire turn.
Say it was a pretty good turn. Discovered some
Yeah.
things.
Yes, we did.
Nero, first and foremost, we're gonna kind of keep up with our weird side quest that we've got going on with Papa before we do anything else. Papa's now in an interesting position where the only obvious direction that he has light from is now northward, and knowing that far enough westward will also you have east and south that are predominantly.
Go south.
Oh, there was light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
That being said, what is Nero doing?
Yeah. Right. So Nero's gonna go ahead and move. He's also gonna sprint. Move 60 feet. And that is all he can really do at the moment.
Okay.
Yep.
Roll for that. Okay. Hatner is going to remove a short bow from his pack, and he's going to fire an arrow at the strong. Oh, everything that
Let me see.
and murder that.
So you have decided to fight, boy. Now you will die heroically.
He misses, but the arrow just whizzes by. And actually, this was super important because I didn't do it. Four.
Oh, cool. So he is all on fire now, right?
Yes.
Does it look like fire is actively empowering them?
Oh, that's harder to say. It now doesn't look like fire bothered. It is now just like, yes, fire.
We spend an action changing the chroma cloth to cold. I believe it is an action.
One time, change the chroma cloth color to another one.
Okay. Yep. So Core will spend his turn doing that. Is this attunement?
Romankov?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I would have
Or
to go
no.
check the original. I
Yeah,
can
'cause
find
I
out
think
right
this-
now.
Mhm.
Pulling up the sheet. Pulling up the sheet. It is not a 2.
Okay. I have lost track of where Yelena is.
Yeah, I think she's still.
Okay.
Again, for the sake of it, because you would be able to see.
Yep. Is there a... What would it take for Core to get up there?
A mirror. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yelena had to, like, again, impressive Yelena acrobatic things, which Core is just simply not capable of.
Hey, I stuck that landing by tucking and rolling and scraping my
Yeah,
shin a little bit.
yeah, it worked. It did work. But ascension is very different from falling gracefully. Let's see. So I mean, you do know that there are usually ladders on the interior of buildings. So the fact that you can kind of see that there are some bridges connecting to this building where they're currently on top of, you could probably find a trapdoor inside if you can get it.
Can I roll a perception check to try and find a ladder on the outskirts, or is that an action?
A ladder to get to the roof or get to the front?
Yeah, just a ladder. Just to get to roof.
Yeah, you can make a perception check.
Okay. And we'll roll that d4. 20.
Okay. There is no immediate ladder within obvious. There is one all the way down here. You see it underneath the stilts. There is a ladder leaned up against this building.
Okay, so there's a ladder all the way down there. You know what? In that case, I think the best thing Core's gonna try to do is I think he's just gonna try to parkour up there. Just spend his movement and his bonus action just trying to get up there and just try to get vertically up there and just hope for a miracle.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna I'm gonna start you off with I think the easiest thing to do, which is again not to pick up the map. There's a set of stairs that lead up to
Okay.
a platform in front of these.
All right.
And then they are 10 feet up. Climbing the stairs will take you 10 feet better.
Okay.
So that'll put you at 35. Then from that platform to the roof is about 10 feet.
Okay.
And this is where Yelena did her crazy Yelena.
All right. Am I rolling acrobatics or am I rolling athletics?
You are rolling out. There aren't footholds. There's no walls for you to bounce between. It's just sheer grit to get you.
Yeah, there is my sheer grit. Ha! This is kind of an okay roll. It's a natural 15.
Yeah. It will take you the remainder of your movement, but you can get to the roof.
All right. Core,
right behind you.
Core does it just through sheer just
Yep. Yeah.
angry halfling sounds.
There are like mildly displaced wooden boards, weird footholds, but you managed to scramble your way up. You probably get a couple, like 3 or 4 really nasty splinters. By comparison, let's not think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That would have only required your dash to get there.
My action was changing the chroma cloth.
Oh, you're right. Well, you know what? Never mind. Yelena's turn now.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing Korok would say is, Yelena, this might chill it a little bit if you want to give it a shot.
I have an idea, but I want to do. Yelena's gonna rush across the roof, get over here, and she is going to start trying to lay into this thing.
Go for it.
Can't believe Yelena's plan was just to murder it. Why didn't I think of that?
The first will be a miss. The second will be a hit.
And on that hit, she is going to use a mobile flourish to push it back 6 feet.
Okay. Quick side note: you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage and 1 point of fire damage from hitting it.
Alright.
You're going to push it 6 feet. I'm assuming you're going to attempt to knock it off the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. End up there. We're going to see if you can catch it. It does not. It will fall to the street below.
Nice. Sorry, how high up again are we?
20 feet.
Yeah, she's gonna follow it, land right beside it, and use her offhand attack.
Okay. Took
I
4
assume-
points of bludgeoning damage.
So I assume that it is prone now.
Uh,
It fell.
Yes, it is.
Alright, she'll stab into. Oh, oof, that's not
That
good.
is tough. That's gonna be a miss.
Yeah.
It manages to, in a weird display of acrobatics, with 2 of its arms on its other side, push itself up and twist itself just out of the way of the landing strike.
Unfortunate, but it is off the roof away from the child, and Yelena is standing over it. That is her turn.
Yep. Okay, it's down here. Not sure if Sam is here. But now it's Estella's turn. No Sam's getting snack for baby. So, wait. And then you guys get to see what my my new version of the straw man.
Terrified?
Not only is it stun, it's also power word kill.
Sorry. I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back. It's your turn.
I also.
Yelena
Thank
knocked
you,
it off
Sam.
the roof.
But yeah, to catch you up, Yelena did in fact just knock it off the roof.
Where is it? Like
It
just
is,
over here now?
Yeah, it's knocked prone over here.
Okay.
And I'm being very particular about the mentioning it's knocked prone.
She's just gonna move next to Haba. Or maybe more this way. Or Nero. Same thing, right? Same person?
Yeah, fair.
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
So as long as I can hit 80 feet on a spell.
Which you can, for the record, but though, if it's a ranged spell attack, it will be at disadvantage because he's on the ground.
Damn. Can't do anything about that though. All I know is violence.
Bring the pain.
Violence them, show them they are their way through force.
Alright, I'll use 1 sorcery point to use this meta magic. Because I have nothing that far that's not fire that reaches that far.
Fair.
Wait. Actually, I take it back. No, I don't. I have chromatic orb. That's
No, that'll do it.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Never mind. I take it back. I'm not using it.
Sam, I don't know if you heard it or not because you were away, but this thing does look like it is one with the fire.
Yeah, chromatic orb lets me use anything. I believe is the wording.
Yeah,
I can
but
use
just
any.
don't, pretty much
Just
any
don't use
elemental
fire.
damage type. I think it's fire, cold, lightning, thunder, acid,
Yep, acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder.
poison. Well, take your pick.
As long as it's not fire, right?
Yeah, I would highly recommend anything but fire. Everything else you have to discover for yourself.
18 at disadvantage, and we will
18 will hit.
go with cold damage just because, fire and all.
Yeah. All right.
I love how it asked me what level I'm casting it after I cast it. That's funny. Anyways, just first level's fine.
You managed
Just
to
a 12.
curve the bullet and send this chilling chromatic orb through the air, missing Yelena as she dances in her little tete-a-tete with the straw man. And it strikes it as it's on the ground, recovering itself. Seems effective enough. Perhaps not as effective as maybe everyone was secretly hoping.
Still more effective than fire.
Yeah.
And then she just bonus action high five mentally to Yelena. That's all she can do. So question before we move on. How many times can I use the Essence Siphon Amulet? I guess is the question.
That is a good question, because I feel like as you asked me that question, I realized when I was reading the description of the sheet, there is no limitation.
Nope, just as anytime I hit.
Way too good. I think I'd probably say off the cuff until I go double check drive. I'd probably say up to your proficiency.
I think that would be 100% fair. So I'll just add a little resource thing for that. So I can track it. I'll put Siphon Amulet uses. And we have 2 out of 3 as of right now. Got it. Just needed to know so that I knew what was going on. All right, yeah, that's it. I'm not going to use my bonus action for anything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, next up is its turn. It will spend half of its movement up. It's going to look at Yelena with its weird, burning, smiling face. And now that you're much closer to it, Yelena, you can see underneath this burning, fiery head that it has, there is in fact a solid mass somewhere inside. That is almost certainly human. But it doesn't like you or what you've been doing. And in a weird, almost mimicry of you, it's going to spin at its torso, in its abdomen. It's going to spin like a top, and all of its arms are just going to lash out all at once at you, making 3 attacks.
Okay, the Beyblade.
Yeah, basically a big fiery Beyblade.
I mean, that's basically a description of Yelena.
Let her rip.
Yeah, the first one's going to be a 15 to hit. Oh, okay. The second one's a crit.
Oof.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna roll the third one now, so I know. 18 to hit.
Hit.
Okay. So we're going to roll additional crit damage. Okay, I rolled a 1 and then a 6. So we evened out. So the crit is 12 plus 7, 19 plus 3 for 22 points of damage. Are you resistant to fire?
I'm not resistant, but I am going to use my reaction to reduce the fire damage by 12. For my fire weaving.
Okay, in which case, let me get the numbers straight. The good news is it was actually more fire damage than it was physical this time around. So actually, I think you almost reduced the fire damage. Because the physical damage is 1 plus 6, 7 plus 3, 10. So you'll actually reduce it. You'll reduce it to 0. Yeah, you'll reduce the fire damage completely. You take 11 from the crit.
How much was the total before? I already subtracted it.
23 is what I thought. So if you subtract 12, it'll be 11. My math checks. And also, that's a really cool.
Yes. She kind of just reaches her hands up, and as the fire hits her, she spins and kind of disperses it around herself.
And then the third attack that will also connect is going to be 9 slashing damage and 3 fire. For a total of 12. And it is at that particular juncture going to use the remainder of its movement to climb up, kind of grabbing onto one of the stilts with one of its 4 arms and pull itself up and spider climb back up to the, getting just up to the edge. It does provoke an attack of opportunity if you're interested, but I think you just used your reaction to fire weaving, right?
Yep.
Okay. In which case, we will move on. Narrow.
Alright, real quick, can we do Haba first, just on the off case
yes,
he
yes.
pops out?
Goes Narrow. Or Haba. Haba is running. Haba is gonna keep heading south. He sees light. It would require a dash to get out of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, he'll dash.
Okay. In which case, I'll go fetch the token.
Where does Haba pop out at?
He is really funnily right.
Oh! Hello! Oh! I see.
Yeah, it's like you run out, you see everyone's attention like fixated on this thing off in the distance, and all you see, in the creepiest way possible, this thing with multiple limbs clambering up the side of the building, its head and body on fire. For the record, the building is slowly catching fire.
Mm-hmm. So I have a dumb question, because I think this actually works.
I might have a dumb answer.
So you know how all self-targeted spells can be done for both the twins, right? It's 2 for 1. Would Misty Step also count for that?
No.
Okay. That answers my
Yeah,
question.
yeah, because you're not technically targeting yourself with the spell for it to take it.
Okay. Alright, in that case, we're going to use the Move Edict with Haba's bonus action, and Narrow's going to move over here. About how far up are they?
It is on the roof. From ground level, it's about 20 feet.
Haba looks down, he realizes he does not have a range weapon. Can I just find like a rock on the ground that I can just try and beam at this man?
Make an investigation check. Let's see if you can just magically produce a rock. Yeah, there's a rock at your feet.
Pick up a rock and what?
Smaller than a baseball, but a good sized rock.
Right.
Can't believe we're not gonna just throw Yelena.
Just out of range. Yeah, can I just beam a rock at this man?
Yeah, go for it. You grab the rock and you just wing it up at him, and it just flies right by him.
That didn't work. Alright. That's my turn. Oh,
Nice rock throw.
thanks.
Back to the straw man. You've angered him greatly. He has 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
One might say he's raging.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Well, the straw man is back on the edge of the roof. He's going to go over, and with one of his arms, he's going to pick up the wiggling sack. But then as he's doing this, and it's very interesting to watch because all of its body parts seem to act and almost think autonomous. Like one leg bends down, so it's at this weird angle, and the lowermost arm goes to pick up Ellery and then hands it up to its other arm above it, while its head is turning and looking directly at Core. And then almost in one smooth motion as it picks up and shoulders Ellery with its topmost arm on the right side, it turns with all of its body rotating in his direction and begins sprinting at you.
Okay.
And actually doesn't even have to sprint, but it does come at you with a battle. And it is going to make 3 claw attacks again.
Okay.
The first one's not a high number. I'm pretty sure that's going to miss with a 12.
12 will miss.
Second one's a 15.
15 will also miss.
And the last, wow. The last one's an 8. No, a 10.
That will also miss.
Yep.
He ducks below the Beyblade.
Yeah, it's like, wait, I've never fought something this short. What do I do?
Core just stares and just kind of weaves against the motions as it's just kind of moving at him. I think what he's doing here is he's using the sack it's got in his hand as kind of like a makeshift shield because it's not able to swing with that arm.
Yeah, that's smart. And it works off. Pays off well. Hatner does not like that it's getting so much distance. He is not going to fire another arrow. He is instead going to use his action to dash. He is significantly more interested in now trying to keep up with what appears to be a very mobile creature. Back at the top with Core.
Alright, so Core is going to, with practice motion with the chroma cloth in one hand, look at this thing and the motions that it's making, and he is going to, let's see. I haven't gotten that. I don't know why that's still on my sheet. I had to look at Rakish Audacity again and see the wording on it. You don't use advantage on the attack roll to use your sneak attack against. If you're within 5 feet and no other creatures are within 5 feet of you, you don't have a disadvantage on the attack roll.
Basically, you can get sneak attack if you're by yourself.
Alright. Did it look like cold damage did anything to this?
It hurt it. It dimmed its flame for a bit, and then the fire eventually reignited.
What kind of action would it be to steal Ellery?
It's a contested grapple.
Okay.
But since you're acting on it, it's an athletic.
Which, give me a second. think I have something for this.
I think it only counts.
You know, it's really funny.
Hmm.
A shove is an attack roll. I'm gonna try to shove it. I'm gonna try to shove it prone, actually.
That's okay.
So I'll go with that contested check.
Athletics.
You know what? Actually, no, I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I haven't seen that. Because I'm trying to plot out my turn. I'm sorry. I have too many options.
Trying to plot out your turn
you know
on
what?
your turn? How dare you?
I'm gonna swing at him with my rapier. Let's do the thing I think I want to do.
Okay. An attack roll.
Swing.
I'll hit.
And sneak attack.
The rapier pierces into its abdomen. It seems like whatever it is at its core is a very dense substance. It seems to take the stab in stride.
We have Rakesh Audacity, and then we will bonus action. We will try to finish with the with an offhand with the chroma cloth. We cannot make this an automatic hit, but we will still throw it anyway.
22 will hit.
All right. No sneak attack on this. We'll still hit for 8 cold.
Yep. And the 8 cold strikes a segment on its chest, and it douses the fire there for a moment. And underneath core, in this very quick moment, you do see where it douses the fire. You see underneath this bright red flesh of which you're almost positive once was a person, as is the theme with these creatures. And you can see carved into it this runic writing that you've come to know and acknowledge that they use.
Do I know anything about disrupting these runes?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think you do.
Okay. In that case, Core gets both of those attacks in, and then, Core runs back into melee.
Okay.
That is my action, that's my bonus action, that's my move. That's his turn.
All right.
Oh, you need to hurt me.
I do. Thank you for reminding me.
Honesty is the best policy.
You're right. You'll take 3 piercing damage and 1 point of fire.
I have been undone. That eats into my 10 hit points.
And since that was the first polite reminder about reminding me of a monster rule set that I usually forget about, take a point of inspiration.
Woo!
Yelena.
I did it.
Yelena is going to make her way back over to the ladder over here, climb up, dashing to try and get onto the roof.
Okay. Same as before. It's an athletics check to cover that last bit of distance. Certainly have the movement.
Do not have inspiration left to use.
You attempt this time, but the sequence, like before, does not work out in your favor. You slip and you land back onto the raised wooden platform outside.
She'll use a bonus action to healing word herself, and that will be her turn.
Estella.
Yeah. This thing keeps getting further and further away as she continues to hobble 30 more feet.
You're playing everyone's favorite game.
Yeah, it puts you within 80 feet.
These poor people at the window just watching me just
Yeah,
chuck
for the record,
things at them.
it's a very good point. There are several people that have now gathered at these windows here that are watching this unfold.
I knew it.
There's like it's tightly packed. There's like 7 or 8 faces per window. People are just watching.
All right, here we go. 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right, awesome. And then we will do. Let's just do 3rd level, just to see what we.
Wow.
30.
Holy.
That autumn mellow is yellow.
Oh, and we're gonna try. Sorry, I forgot it was chromatic orb. We are going to try thunder damage.
Okay.
Strike thunder into this thing. See what happens.
All right. You spin off another chromatic orb, and it now carries with it sound that of the occasional crackling of thunder. And when it strikes, it's like a storm overhead has started, and there's a loud crack that resonates in the air. And Corey, you watch as just this powerful blow strikes him from behind that it clearly wasn't prepared for. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have it make a strength save to see if it can hold on to Ellery, because that was a lot more damage than I think it would ever take. It drops Ellery.
Good. Excellent.
Ellery will fall into. That looks way too perilous. She's actually right there.
Can I do something?
I don't know.
I'm going to use my reaction. Since we still have this ability and we haven't changed it. I'm going to use where was it? Because it's somebody else making an attack roll. Vanishing trick.
Right.
Are you within 30 feet of me, Estelle?
No, not even close.
No.
Okay.
No.
Where are you? Oh, you're
I'm
all the way
80.
over there.
Yeah, I'm like 80 to 90 feet away.
Yeah, she's 80 feet away from the straw man, so she's 85 feet away.
All right, that's perfectly fair. All right, I was just remembering I had something. All right, that's fair. All right.
Oh, the creature is taking damage from a source that is other than you.
Mm-hmm.
Or takes damage from a source other. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It literally just covers like everything.
You wrote it. Okay, in that case, as soon as it does this, I think what Core is going to do is, and this is going to be very, very silly, but she slides there. Core is going to slide here into this space, and the way I'm going to hide is vertically down right beneath it.
You're trying to hide behind the small sack of a child?
I'm trying to hide on the side of the building.
Oh, so you're gonna like hang off the edge?
Yeah, kind of like how I did before. Kind of occupying that same space where Ellery is.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, ideally, I don't think I would even make a stealth check, but within the mechanics of this, I have to, basically attempt to hide. So this is to position himself so that he can better cover Ellery.
Right. So
That way, if she actually falls off, he can
Yeah.
feasibly catch
So
them.
you're going to move behind her, but you're staying on the roof.
I'm hanging off the side.
Okay, so like knuckles on the edge, feet dangling, hanging off the roof.
Yeah, like Knuckles on the edge,
Okay.
positioning himself in a way where it's like he's there, and now he's parkouring on the side of the building, kind of barely hanging on, ready to just get the drop on them because maybe they weren't expecting this.
All right. So well, I mean that's your intention. You have to successfully attempt to hide first.
I
Before
will
you can move.
successfully attempt to hide first.
I'm going to unfortunately have to spoil this in that it was staring at you.
Okay.
You cannot physically hide from it. It just seemed.
All right, that's fair.
And the 11 wouldn't have done it.
If you succeed in hiding, okay, well, that's fair. Can't move then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it targeted you last, and so it was just focused on you the whole time. So yeah, it just knows. It just knows.
Okay. Hey, I tried.
You did. Good.
Basically, last thing before the end of Estella's turn is she says, anyone who can grab Ellery, grab her. Get her out of his reach. And that's the end of her turn.
Okay. Strawman.
I have no reaction.
Well, and for the record, if you don't want to have user a reaction on that,
If you think it's that,
we can retcon it because it didn't do what you were trying to do because line of sight just literally prevents you from actually using it. And
okay.
yeah, I really just should have clarified that for you from the beginning and not have gone through the song. So if you don't want to have spent your reaction on it, you don't.
All right, then I will not spend my reaction on it. I will be very appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's completely. Yeah, me holding on to the fact that he can just see you and going, oh well, you did it and tried. Like, I'm scummy. Well, the straw man doesn't like that he just got blasted, and he knows people are converging on him. He's going to do something that you guys don't like, but it's even worse. It is going to rear its head back into the air, and it is going to release a warbling shriek. And everyone within 60 feet that can hear it, I need you to make a wisdom save. Which is
Does that include
narrow, Yelena, and
He suffer for
and
take
all
the
of-
consequences of my actions.
all of these bystanders staring at it through the window.
What kind of save?
Wisdom.
Okay. I have proficiency in these now. With
Can't
narrow.
believe you get proficiency. Wah. Anyway, let me go ahead and open my sheet. Let me roll.
Can I burn an inspiration? Just
Roll.
in case.
And
yeah.
if you want to, you got the point, and you want to, you can have
Yeah. I've actually got a
all
couple
have-
points.
Yeah. We
but-
do all have a +1 from our spa day yesterday.
Yeah.
That is
Remember,
Did that
Uh,
go through? I'm gonna hit the button
so-
again.
yeah, I haven't seen
16.
anything.
Right, and I have to use inspiration before I know the result, right?
The rules have been clarified on them. Even though I wrote them, I still don't remember what I've written, so I'm just gonna go pull it up and double check.
Okay. I got a 17 total. I think we're gonna sit on that. There might be a second roll that pops up. I don't know.
It's before you know the outcome. Right.
Okay, then yeah, I'll go and burn an inspiration. That was not the right button, but regardless, we're gonna keep the 16 because that would have just been an 8.
Yeah, we
with
can just add your
bonus.
efficiency.
Yep. So we'll stick with the 16
All right.
and hope.
Well, something about it has changed in that while you still feel that trembling through your limbs and your body, it is also mentally scarring you.
Got it.
So 8, 11. If you succeeded, which all of you did, congratulations. You're gonna not be stunned, and you're going to take half of this damage, which is you will all take 5 points of psychic damage.
Okay, and that's already halved for us.
Yeah, it's already half. So unless you're
Got it.
resistant to psychic, it's 5. Otherwise, it would have been 11.
Got it. Okay.
And meanwhile, in a weird, funny side note, in Narrow, you just hear a bunch of people from over here begin groaning because of the onlookers that are rubbernecking on this fight.
These poor fools.
Look at that 60-foot AoE of look at how many dead commoners there are.
Estella's just shaking her fist and laughing and goes, ha ha, suckers.
3 people just
Right.
collapsed dead in the building. Sistel laughs.
Haba and Nero.
All right, so we're gonna burn another edict to move so that Nero can bonus action sprint. Is Yelena still on the ladder?
It's a platform.
Hanging from the roof.
Yeah, there's a,
Okay.
yeah, there's a set of stairs and then a wooden platform in front of it.
Okay. With my dash, would I be able to get up onto the roof?
Onto the roof. I mean, if you're using the stairs, no. You'll get to the top of the
Okay.
stair. You'll get to the top of the stairs.
Okay.
You could always try to climb up one of the stilts and then climb up the side of the building from exactly where Nero is. There's just an athletic thing.
Sure.
All right. You're gonna hazard that. Roll an athletics check.
Ah, I have plus
Really
6 to these
good.
now. Yeah.
It still costs you twice your movement because you don't have a natural climb speed. So it'll take of your dash. So you have 60 feet. It'll take 40. So it'll leave you with 20. But it will put you right up here on the end.
Yep. Okay. Oh, now we're getting funky numbers for these. Got it.
I mean, yeah. I guess we could just technically put you in that.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all the same. Same movement.
Yep. Right, and that's 20 feet right there. And now, I guess we're gonna use Nero's action to dash.
The 30.
You guess.
Hello.
Do you actually say that to him?
Yeah.
Or is that like to core Yelena, or was it like actually directed at the strong?
The straw man.
I like to think it's unclear.
Unclear is better, actually.
Yeah, you ever have that moment where you're walking down the street and someone further down is waving in your direction, and you're like, are they waving at me? But you don't know them, so you kind of awkwardly wave
Yeah.
back, and then you realize they walked past you and there was someone behind you the whole time.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Those are the
worst.
worst moments.
Yeah, for the record,
But it's
I've
you guys on the
absolutely
receiving
done
end.
that.
I've done that as well.
I've
I
been
have a good
that guy.
story. After the session, I have a good story
Perfect.
about something like that.
All right, well, the straw man's turn. Nero, when you come running up behind it, and you just go, hello. It just sort of, its head turns very quickly at you, and then just, it says back to you, hello.
Oh no.
Oh, you can actually talk. I wasn't expecting a response, but I guess this is now a formal greeting. I'm not going to shake your hand, though. I'm going to stab you here in a sec instead. I hope you understand.
He said, no handshake.
Yeah,
only
Nero
nice.
just shows up and just begins rambling in its general direction.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait. Can I use a feat?
Maybe?
Can I use the? Can I confuse him? Can I distract him? Hold on.
Yeah, put it in chat.
Yes. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. This is the first use of it of all.
Do it.
Hold on. I'm pulling it up. Distracting nature.
Pull it up faster. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
agree.
kidding,
I just,
kidding,
no, I'm
kidding.
not. I agree with Sam. Faster, please.
Yep.
Pressure. You can just click it on your sheet.
I don't think it's in his sheet.
Oh no.
I'm judging you heavily.
I understand.
Judging you. D&D player. No, I'm just kidding. Oh no, his Discord's
Oh no.
Oh no, terrible. Poor why? Oh, can you guys not hear anybody?
There we go. Now it's there. I can hear everybody.
No, I can hear people just fine. It's him. He's gone.
Oh no.
He's
Restart
not in
Discord.
Discord.
I mean, Discord does randomly choose to decide. You know what? I have an update. I'm gonna restart now. Thank you.
Well, in his case, Comcast.
There, which is just the worst. Unfortunately,
I
Craig, I think in this particular circumstance it won't.
Okay.
Great question. But no, I think in this instance, it just doesn't. Which is important because it's going to turn on you. I would have done this to Don, but he's not here, so. So
He's back.
can he actually say something? I'm really not okay with mauling him to death if he can't respond.
I guess that's a no.
Okay, so Nero is now going to be the recipient and lucky winner of a flurry of claws, which the straw man is now going to proceed to make 6 claw attacks against you.
6.
6.
Yeah.
You got it. You're a big boy.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Nero's AC is a 17. It's really high. The first one's gonna miss.
Awesome.
All right, the second one's a 22. That'll hit. The third one's a 17, so that's 2 hits. 12, that's a miss. 16, that's a miss, so only 2 hits. And a modified 20. There you go. See, just only 3 hits. Not a big deal.
Yeah,
You got
fine.
it. You're fine.
Yeah, could have
It's
been
on
way
me.
worse. Could have been way worse.
Now take 40 damage, Nero.
I mean, you might.
Now take all 6.
You don't have any resistances I have to worry about? Like fire resistance
no.
in particular?
No.
So I'm just gonna
I
add
do
all
not.
together.
Oh,
I rolled very well.
I'll take 82 damage, Nero.
24, 27. You weren't far off, actually, Greg, as
Oh.
you're joking. 40 points of damage.
Oh.
Yeah, I rolled very well on my d6s. I had one bad roll, which was the only. I rolled 1-1, and then all the others were like 4 or 5.
That was pretty good. I'll give you
It
that.
was pretty good. Thank you.
Ah!
For the
It's
record,
so unnerving.
there's a really wonderful video where the voice actor for the new Fiddlesticks remake actually talked about how he did the Fiddlesticks voice, and I've watched it a lot.
Yeah.
In fact,
I was getting hardcore Fiddlesticks vibes from
yeah,
this
it's
guy.
absolutely inspired by that. Yes.
I
It's
love
only going to
those.
get worse. I'm actually sort of only been jokingly speaking as him. Wait until he actually starts doing creep. Great.
Oh.
But that's his turn. We're just gonna keep doing the Hatner thing where he's just trying to catch up.
Oh, crap.
And then we're just gonna go to core, and we're gonna wait to see if Dawn can fix his technical issues.
Throwing him as online again.
All right. We're waiting for Dawn. Although honestly, if he can't figure them out, this actually isn't like the worst time in the world for him to have had this issue come up,
True.
because it's almost 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I can't math. 3 hours.
Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock.
Sorry,
So
yeah.
it's like 1:40.
Oh man, I looked over at the stream to see if there's anybody in chat, and I see that you've added a new gold piece thingy.
I did.
Wait to get enough points to be able to create an NPC directly for this campaign.
I
to
did.
help.
I felt like that was a really good one. I'm like, if someone's here and watching enough to have gotten enough points, I'm like, hell, build an NPC. Why not?
I'm a fifth of the way there.
There you go.
So while we're waiting for Don, let me tell you this story.
Yes, please. Minor intermission while we wait on someone's technical difficulties. Sam, please take away.
So I was at a doctor's visit, right? And I go through everything, do my thing, and then I come out, and in the hallway is my friend who took me to the doctor's because it was early in the day, and Adam was still working. So then there was this other guy just sitting in the hallway randomly, and I walked past the guy, to get to the stairs to go back downstairs, and then I turn around because my friend's on the other side of the guy, and I go, "Why are you just over there?" And the poor guy just looks at me. He goes, I'm waiting for my wife." Like all like awkward like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant him." And then he turns around, he goes, "Oh." I was like, I felt so bad because it was like it sounded just so mean, and I was just like, I apologize profusely to that poor man. I'm sure he already had anxiety from people walking up and down the hallway, and then I just shouted, "Why are you here?" Practically is how it sounded like after the fact. So I like kept apologizing to him.
Oh, I can absolutely see that happening to you, Sam.
Yeah, I know. And
that position, the guys.
There's the extra comment. I don't know. Hey, don't say that. Dyer said we need to use our big boy words. Don't use those words. Sorry, I'm trying to teach him to say fudge instead of the other word.
Ah. Fudge is delicious. And probably better most times than not.
Yeah, he was just screaming F you the entire time back there. And so I was telling him stop. Yeah, I didn't hear it the first time or the second time, but I heard it the third, fourth, and fifth time, and I was like, you know what? No, that's bad.
All right, so Don's saying his internet broke.
Oh.
I have been given a time restraint from our good boy Greg, who has an important thing to do. I think, because we are uncertain of how long this is going to take, I think we're gonna have to. We're at the top of an initiative.
Hey, that's fine. I think that's a great place to stop it at. Oh, we ended it on a funny story at least.
Poor man.
I know. I had to, out of guilt, I had to tell them, tell your wife that I said you're a great husband. You're doing great. Keep it up.
Doing great, champ.
But anyway, I just feel so bad.
Also, quick side note, because yeah, we're finished there. At the top of the initiative, we'll just pick up next week at the end of this battle. A fun little note: the straw man. So I made a stat block for the original straw man, but given this is a scarier, more powerful straw man that has some adaptations, it has a couple of things that are adapted from the Star Spawn Mangler from Mordecai and Tome of Foes. If you actually go look at that monster, it is ridiculous for being a CR5 monster. I'm just saying, it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, that's my side rant about a time where my wizard nearly got killed because of one of those ambushing it.
Have you ever looked at the Katoba Pass stat block?
Yep.
That thing has no business being the CR that it is.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, the CR rating system is more of a meme anyway. Yeah. But that's besides the point. Well, okay, that's it from us today. We'll catch up here same time next week, assuming no scheduling errors. Yeah. I trust that you guys will tell me when things come up.
No scheduling errors, just children.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah, otherwise, same time next week. We'll see you then. And hopefully Don's internet stops being dumb. I guess if there's nothing else you can do, make good choices, everybody. And also happy Pride Month. We'll see you next week. And sorry, one last thing, because it's super good. That too, because again, big fan of Critical Role. It's the shirt I'm wearing for DMing this week, which is the "Don't Forget to Love Each Other" shirt.
Oh, sick.
So that's just the appropriate tagline for and what I think I will use for the remainder of this month, which is other than making good choices, don't forget to love each other. Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
All right.